Join the conversation, 969-5877. Start KTRS remote cell phones and text NightCourt at 84126. This is NightCourt.
Welcome back to NightCourt, along with James Enstel and Artie Lang. How you doing, Jim?
I'm fine, man. I don't know why you keep bringing it up.
You don't look well. Anyway, James,
thank you.
Not only is he the co-host of the which one? What's that? The
Bill Cleveland Trivia Night.
The Bill Cleveland Trivia Night show. He's also the co-host of the Marie Dubuque Manners by Marie show. How would we do on that show?
I think you're doing just fine. I mean, if you left me on the air, I'm not sure,
Can we bring the Jimmy 3000 with us?
Probably so. I think an Adel or something.
She's very nice. All right. Waiting online very patiently is our friend from across the lake, from KSPR Channel 33 in Springfield, Dave Stewart. Hey, Dave, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. All right, Fast Eddie Maher is no longer in either Missouri or the United States. What's going on?
Well, earlier this week, ICE officials confirmed to me, his Immigration Customs Enforcement, they confirmed to me that he was on a plane back to Suffolk, England, where, as you know, if you're familiar with this name at all, Fast Eddie, he was accused 19 years ago of making off with the equivalent of $1.81 million from an armored car in Ipswich, England, and Suffolk, England, and skipped across the pond to the United States. Long story short, he was caught here in Ozark back in February in the town of Ozark, Missouri, which is just south of Springfield. And now he's back on a plane back to England. Actually, he showed up in court, Tuesday.
Now, Dave, this is the guy, not only did he rob an armored truck, he was driving the armored truck, and he just sort of vanished into thin air, and they found him 20 years later installing cable boxes. And it's a pretty cool story. Keep some of our listeners that maybe aren't familiar with the story, give them sort of the backstory on this guy and why it's so interesting.
Well, the interesting part, there's a lot of interesting parts, individually to this. A little bit of the backstory is that he had a partner that was not a partner in crime, but a partner in his capacity as an armored car security guard that was in the bank. And unbeknownst to his partner, Fast Eddie had hatched this plan. He was going to make off the money. He just drove away from the bank, like you said, transferred the money into a waiting vehicle, took off with that vehicle, boarded a plane. His then-girlfriend, Debbie Brett, and son, Lee Brett, otherwise we now know him as Slow Lee King.
That's right, Slow Lee King.
Boarded a plane over to Boston. From there, they disappeared and have skipped around to, by some accounts, as many as like 5 different countries and like 10 to 12 states in the United States.
And the way that he got caught was really his son's baby's mama turned him and the rest of the family in. Can you tell people a little bit about how dysfunctional these folks are and how exactly Fast Eddie got nabbed?
Well, first of all, you have to isolate which baby mama.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
There are several.
That's right.
This guy is accused of fathering 4 kids with 3 different women here in the States. Now, we're talking about Slow Lee King now.
Yeah, because he's a Marine or something, right?
Well,
no.
In actuality, he was not. He was actually in the Army and was given a dishonorable discharge.
Imagine that.
From the military. And he had some problems, that we probably don't want to really go into too much detail, but the Army saw some problems with this guy, mainly mental issues. He liked to claim a lot of things that didn't really happen. In fact, he claimed that he was a Navy SEAL, which he wasn't. He was in the Army, and that he was a Green Beret at the same time over in Afghanistan, which, of course, never happened.
It's not illegal to do that. It's very strange. Right? The Supreme Court came out with that Stolen Valor Act in the last, Obamacare results. when those opinions came out. Not only is it not illegal to lie about being a Navy SEAL, now you can. It's okay, I guess, if you're foolish enough to do it, to lie about winning medals. So maybe there's more pregnancies, unwed pregnancies in his future, so he can go and say he's some kind of green or bronze medal winner or something.
Right now, Lee King, a.k.a. Lee Brett, is up in Wisconsin serving probation. He pleaded guilty just a couple of months ago to 4 felonies of failing to pay child support up there. So he is doing 6 months, and he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 6 months concurrent. You could probably explain this better, the difference between consecutive and concurrent. Basically, he's doing 6 years total, but on each of the counts first, and then paying a fine of like almost $1,700.
That's Dave Stewart. That's what you think. You probably could explain it better than me. Concurrent means they all run together. Dave Stewart from KSPR in Springfield. Now, Fast Eddie's case is here. It look like they're not going to pursue him. The primary case is going to be back in England on the bank robbery charge. Have you spoken to your supervisors there with the Olympics coming up? You need to go to England and cover this story. Have you talked to them about this?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have much to do with the Olympics on our network at ABC. The Olympics are going to be on NBC. But I am in contact with the BBC and a couple of newspapers over in England, and they have been very good to return the favor that I gave to them, giving them information on the front end of the case. So we're sharing information as journalists behind the scenes in this case. And so Eddie, just to bring you, and we're going to break a little news.
Do it.
Eddie is due back in court on Tuesday, and then another week later for an evaluation. He's right now in an Ipswich court. It's a town in England, and it's going to move to, the experts think that it'll move to what they call Crown Court in England, which is a higher level of court for bigger cases. The news we're going to break today, and I haven't even reported this on our television station here in Springfield, is that I did confirm just 2 days ago with ICE that they have started deportation proceedings against both Lee Brett, otherwise known as Lee King, and his mother, Debbie Brett. So they are on their way out of the country as well.
That's very
Get them out of here.
outstanding and exclusive to NightCourt, and that's because they are not U.S. citizens, these people?
They are not. They're British citizens, and they came over here illegally.
I say, let's kick them all out. No, well done. Excellent. Now, that's very cool, Dave. Very good exclusive. We appreciate you sharing that with NightCourt. What about if people?
For you.
What if people want to follow this story? You're on top of it. How do they follow you? Do you have a Twitter feed or a website or any other cool?
Well, all of the above. Of course, on Twitter at KSPR News KSPR News. We're at KSPR.com on the web. If you wanted to follow me personally, it's D_Stu STEW. And on Facebook as well, KSPR News, and you'll be able to follow all the latest of this case.
How can you not want to follow this guy? He's fantastic. Now, really, I want to change gears real quickly, if you can. It seems like everyone, or at least every weekend, someone is getting electrocuted down at the lake. What is going on down there, and are the police or the sort of safety water patrol investigating why it is that these things seem to be happening so much?
Well, they are, in fact, and it is a very concerning story. 3 people just in the last week and a half, a brother and a sister, and also another young woman this past weekend, all died while swimming near boat docks with electrical problems. And it is a very concerning story. Authorities there are investigating. We told the story just day before yesterday about the local fire departments. They all got together. There were 7, I believe, fire departments there at the Lake of the Ozarks that got together to address this issue. And they're wanting some new legislation.
David, has anybody shared with you or told you if there are standards by which people that have private docks have to do electrical work or get things examined or get things inspected before they can just set up shop down there? Are they thinking that might be the problem?
Yes, and in fact, we found out because of this story this week that there are really no state laws that govern all of the lakes. It's really different at each lake. For example, there are public lakes in Missouri, but there are also private lakes. In the Lake of the Ozarks, one of the biggest lakes, in fact, I do think it is the biggest lake, is a private lake. It's owned by Ameren Electric Company. And so they have different rules to play by than do other lakes.
Well, look at that. And you're on top of that, whether it's the lake, across the pond, here in the States, over in Europe. Dave Stewart's got everything covered. That's why you're our special correspondent.
I try.
We appreciate it. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. This is a great report. We appreciate all the update. And, of course, you will keep us appraised of not only what's happening with Fast Eddie over in England, the deportation proceedings with immigration involving Slowly King and his mom, and as well as what's going on down at the Lake of the Ozarks. Hopefully no one gets electrocuted this weekend, right?
Well, I hope not. And you know, when there is some pending legislation or some more movement in this electrocution case, I'll definitely let you know.
Very good stuff. All right, Dave Stewart, KSPR TV down in Springfield. You can catch him on Twitter. Follow this guy. He's a great dude, and he's a great journalist. That's what you are, sir, is a great journalist.
Well, thank you for that.
Well, we appreciate the time. All right, Dave Stewart, NightCourt correspondent. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Scott. You're welcome.
All right. Dave Stewart, everybody, keeping us appraised of some very interesting and important developments, and not only that case, but also this new development down at the lake. Who knew? All right, let's take a break.